embellishment, and we also talked about continued care of roses, but I brought a friend along because I really felt like I needed some help talking about pruning roses. Hi, Will.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for coming to the Van Wilgen studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with pruning. First off, we have a climbing rose, Will, and I know that all roses have a little bit different type of pruning tactics that you use. So let's start with the climbing rose. What would we do here?
All right, so climbers are going to be your easiest roses as far as pruning goes. You're only really doing a little bit of deadhead and a little bit of cleanup in the fall, and then you can remove any dead wood that you see in the spring, but you don't want to cut it back hard.
Okay.
You really don't have to. You want to let it grow. You want to let it cover your arbor, your fence, your what have you.
Right, you want that coverage. So
Yeah.
really don't do a ton of pruning then.
Definitely.
On climbing roses.
Leave
Okay,
them
so,
alone.
all right, great. Really good to know. I think that's a perfect hint. Now we move into this oh so easy kind. These are the mini roses, also kind of in the same category with the drift roses.
Definitely.
What should we do for pruning of these types of roses?
So again, with any of these roses, you're going to be doing some deadheading and some cleanup in the fall, but you want to wait on these mini and drift and kind of those lower growing roses to prune them back hard until the spring.
That's a good point, because I think a lot of people prune their roses hard in the fall, but they really shouldn't be doing that.
No, if you leave the growth up, it'll allow any winter dieback that happens to the very tips of the branches, and then you're cleaning that off in the spring anyways.
Okay, all right, great. So these are actually really easy.
Very easy. Oh, so easy.
Oh, so easy, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into the knockout roses, also falling in the category of shrub roses. I know this is a really easy rose. Is pruning as easy?
So that's the one part that's going to be a little more complicated than what we've talked
Okay,
about.
all right.
Your knockout roses, just like your hybrid teas, your grandifloras, your floribundas, you're going to be pruning those back in the late winter, early spring.
Okay.
You want to take them back pretty hard, maybe to about 18 inches from the ground that first
wow,
year
so
in the
people
ground.
shouldn't be scared. You can actually go to 18 inches back.
You can go back pretty far,
Okay.
especially those first couple years in the ground. The other thing you really want to do with them is you take your bypass pruners, just a regular old pruner, and you can remove any older kind of woody growth. You want that growth to be very kind of new, very green to purpley colored as opposed to that dark woody brown.
Okay, so, and also remove like dead wood always.
Oh, always,
Of course.
absolutely.
All right, so that's really kind of simple. We talked about pruning of the climbing, the drift, and we also went on to the knockout roses and shrub roses. I think that's really, really helpful. And of course, I always want to give you a couple of little like Stacey tip hints, which I think are really important. A lot of people don't know that Epsom salts are amazing for roses. The magnesium in them helps roses absorb phosphorus, and then you get more bloom through the season. So consider using Epsom salts, especially in the spring and in the early summers when you want to do that. The other thing is I love this fish and seaweed fertilizer, especially in the hot months, guys. The kelp in here actually adds moisture to these roses, and we talked about how much moisture roses really need, and this brings the soil to life, and this is something that you could do every 2 weeks, especially through those hot months. Thanks a bunch. See you next time.